Alright, YouTube singers, this video will offer Italian pronunciation help for the aria Caro nome, Gilda's aria from Rigoletto. We will go through it word by word, finding all of the open and closed vowels, the assimilations, and all of the non-phonetic things that happen to help you have accentless Italian when you sing. Before we do that, I would like to direct your attention to the description below, where I have listed the entire text with all of the things that are not phonetic. So it lists the open E's, the phrasal doublings, and the assimilations. Below that, I have a bunch of links, some to my websites and my coaching sites, my Facebook fan book page, and the most important link is to the pronunciation dictionary set up by Rai. It's called the Rai Dizionario. If you follow the link, or if you type into Google Rai, R-A-I, Dizionario, you will go to the site. The site is great because you can type in any word and it'll tell you whether a word is open or closed. It also acknowledges the existence of phrasal doublings and non-phonetic things in Italian. I love this about the site. So besides that, it has a playback key, so when you do type in a word, most likely you'll have a playback where you can hear an Italian saying the word. There are also full lines with all of the non-phonetic things written out and somebody to say that sentence for you. I love it. It's been around for a long time, and I've used it for years. And I strongly suggest that you check it out. So let's go ahead with the text. First, we'll do one word at a time, and then we'll do entire lines. So the first thing we come across is a proper name, Gualtiɛr Maldɛ. So that final R is rolled. The semivowel I makes an open E, and most likely most Italian singers are going to say Maldɛ with an open E at the end. Okay, so Gualtiɛr Maldɛ. And if you notice, the L's go into the next consonant, Gualtiɛr Maldɛ. So that keeps you on the roof of your mouth constantly. Going on, nome. So this is a closed O and then a closed E and a single M. So closed O versus open O. Closed O is O, like oats. Open O is aw. Closed E is A, like hay, without the glide in English. And open E is like the head without the glide. Okay? So what I'm talking about glides is when we speak in English, if I were to do nome with a really horrendous English speaking accent, it would be nome, because our jaw moves in English. In Italian, the vowels are pure, so they stay going straight ahead. Nome. Okay, so one other thing about this word, it has a single M. So the difference between single M and double M is nome, nome. And I've heard people singing nome di lui, right? Nome. So if you go and your lips come together and you're phonating, it's double M. No matter how little you do it, it'll be double M. So nome. Okay, so closed D, closed O, single M. Next word, di lui. Okay, so D of the preposition is a weak monosyllable. It does not double the next consonant. So we're going to talk about strong monosyllables and weak monosyllables. And if you skip all the way toward the end of the aria, you're going to see there are two strong monosyllables on the third to last line and the second to last line. So if you look at where ate, ognora, so a is a strong monosyllable, and ffin ultimo sospir. So ate, you would make a double T after that, because a is a strong monosyllable. Also, the word a, that means and, is a strong monosyllable. It's closed and it makes a double F. Ffin, so double F. Okay, so going back to our our first line. So nome di lui, right? So we have a weak monosyllable. It's not nome di lui, double L, right? Single L. So di lui. So lui has more of the U than the E. Si amato. Again, we have single M, right? I hear a lot amato, amato. So it is also single T. So this is a very good word to practice single consonants, right? So how we do that is if we just did all the vowels. Now pretend you have two ahs and you don't have a glottal, right? So ow. So ow. Now memorize what that feeling is, right? Ow. And you feel the vibrations of that. And then when you put the consonants back in, it should feel exactly the same with single consonants. Amato. Right? So if it feels different, it'll feel, if you double something, amato. See? So the double M, I made double M by phonating on the lips together, and I made double T by stopping the phonation. Okay? So single T, amato. Okay? So that should clear up if you're getting the note that you're doubling consonants that are not doubled. Going on, T is a weak monosyllable, and this aria has a ton of weak monosyllables, which is strange because it's much easier to memorize the weak monosyllables than the strong ones because you can count them on both of your hands. There aren't that many. But T is another weak monosyllable. Okay, so T scolpisci. Now I did that in a very exaggerated way to demonstrate how I separate the S for singing, right? So when you speak, you can say scolpisci, scolpisci, and whoosh that sh part, right? When you sing, it has to be divided like this. If you have three syllables, you have three notes, and you have to do this: scolpisci. And in fact, the sh is considered a double consonant by Italians, right? So scolpisci. It's very strong. She. Scolpisci. Okay? So separate it when you sing it. Make sure that it all goes on that third note. Now we're talking about O's and E's and the rules for open and closed. Okay? So the good news is all of the E's and O's that fall on an unstressed syllable in a word are closed. Every single one is closed. So there's never a vowel on an unstressed syllable that is not A or O. It is only the stressed syllable that you have to worry about, and that can either be open or closed. And unfortunately, there aren't that many rules. There are some formulas, but there aren't many rules, and you have to memorize them all. Okay, so the best way to do it is to mark your open vowels and on your stressed vowels. That's the only place you're going to find open vowels, are on an accented syllable. Okay, now there might be some closed vowels on an accented syllable. There are no rules again, right? They must be memorized. So you can do it aria by aria. You can just pick a list of words to memorize in a week. There are many ways to do it, or just take it by a case by case way of doing it. So scolpisci, the O is in the unstressed position because the accent is on the pisci, right? So it's closed. We know it's closed. We don't have to worry. You don't have to look it up. See, so 75% of your work is done for you this way if you realize this formula. Okay, next word, nail. This word is ne plus il. Ne is closed. Okay, nail. Cɔre. Okay, so now you have a stressed vowel, stressed O, and it is open. Okay, you also see it in another form. It's the word for hearts, cɔre. You'll also see it in another form, cuore. It was a more modern form with an U. So most of those U-O words are open. Fuori, gioco, gioco. You'll see them in both forms. right? In an older libretto, cuore, older libretto, core. So those are open, all of those words. Single R in that word, so it's only flipped, right? So here's the other thing. Core is heart. Corre is he runs. See, with the rolled R. So if you roll that R, it could be confused, even though the vowel's open. So flipping an R is like a D, right? If you said core, core, it's almost the same position with the tip of your tongue as saying a D is flipping an R. To roll an R, R is on the pitch of the note, right? So you have the pitch of the note that you're singing. So, innamorato is the next word. Okay, so now you have a double N, and notice you have to innamorato, and then you have all single consonants, right? So single M. So it's very easy to go innamorato and double the T, or innamorato. I've heard that. Like, that's 4 mistakes in one word, folks. Come on, right? Innamorato, right? See, double consonant at the beginning, single M, flipped R, single T. Okay, now we know all of the innamorato, the accent is on the ah, so all of our O's in that word are closed. See, our work is done. There is never never an open vowel on an unstressed. Okay, so I'm not adding to the confusion. If you've happened to check out some of the diction books, you're going to see, like in the Nico Castel books or Evelina Colorni's Singer's Italian, that the endings have been opened in those books. So you're saying, well, what are you telling me? These vowels, you're saying they're closed and they're indicated as open. So what happened was, when singers started to record opera at the turn of the, around 1905 or so, up until the 1920s, people were noticing that they were opening, like shouting a little bit, the closed vowels, right? So what they meant was, instead of the spoken position, A, O, like that closed down your voice, they were going A, O. So they remained A and O. It's just that they were like shouting, right? Without the force of shouting on your voice when you sing. But they were had the stretch of shouting, right? So indicating this, you open those vowels. So it doesn't mean you're going to sing A and aw at the end. And throughout my coaching career, I've had a lot of success with getting people who have seen those diction books and exaggerated them to open vowels and persuading them to sing them as closed. Right? As long as you have the good vocal technique that you can sing an A and an O without shutting your voice down, without shutting your throat down, I would suggest you try those as A and O. You'll see how much easier your life becomes, how much your voice stays in line and you're going forward all the time, and it propels you forward. Actually, it keeps your rhythm going ahead to close unstressed vowels. Okay, so enough about that. So now we're into the actual rhyming part of the poetry. So caro, right? Caro, dear. Carro is like a train car or stagecoach, right? Carri, right, are train cars, right? Caro, caro, 1 R. So nome we had already. K. Now K is a strong monosyllable, but it's followed by a vowel, so it doesn't matter. But if you have K, you're going to double the next word. Il, I is always E. Mio, accent is on the E. Cor. So notice when we said core, the R was surrounded by vowels, so we flip it. Now that it's final, and if we take a breath, we're going to roll that R. Cor. Open O, rolled R. Festi. Okay, this verb is closed. It's not fasti, right? Festi. Festi. What also notice how carefully I did the S, right? So when you speak again, you can say festi. When you sing, you have to say festi. And I'm doing it in slow motion, but when you go fast, it's the same. Festi. Primo. Primo. So primo. Okay, so rolled R, 1M. Palpitar. Again, rolled R. At the end, final R. Palpitar. Notice the L going into the P and phonating a bit. Le is a weak monosyllable. Okay, so not le delizie, but le delizie. Now, delizie, we have the accent is on the E, so we know that all of our E's are A. Okay, now there's a funny little thing that happens in this word. It's what I call the grazie principle, right? So when you speak, you can, when you have a Z like this, you can say grazie with a TZ and actually stop. You can say delizie and stop. When you sing, you have to be more elegant about it. So you have to say delizie. So this is lyric diction versus spoken diction. See, so the tie is like a semivowel. Le delizie, grazie, right? And I always use Mimi as an example, right? If she's in the first scene and she sings grazie, buonasera, right? Grazie, no, that's spoken, right? Grazie. You have to connect, right? Delizie. Violetta, same thing, right? Croce, croce, delizia. Delizia. How many times have you heard that? I know you've heard that. See? So make sure you change that to the elegant semivowel when you sing. Dell. Close D, not Dell. Dell is a computer company. Dell. And not a very good one from what I've heard. Del amor. So amor, 1M, closed O, final R is rolled. If you double the M, you sound like you're from Naples, right? Amor, right? It's valid. It's an actual language of its own, but you don't want to do that here. Me is another weak monosyllable. Okay, me. So there's no double D. Me day. No, me day. Day. Okay, so now you're going to see DEI in a number of different forms, right? In this instance, it's part of the word dovere, right? It's a must, right? So when it's must, it should be open E. Day. Also, open E is also for gods, like for pagan gods. Day. Right? But in this instance, in the context of the sentence, everybody's going to understand it's must. Well, it's actually pretty poetic, but it's must in this case, right? So sempre, open E. The accent is on sempre. Notice the ampre, how even the M is legato going into the P and the rolled R. The second E is going to be closed because it's in the unstressed position. Next, the are infinitives, the accent is always on the A, right? So rammentar. Rammentare is the full word. So all the E's will be closed in that word because they are not on a stressed syllable. Notice the double M. And notice the N going into the T. I'll say it again. Rammentar. Okay, going on. Col is short for co-il, right? So col, closed. Now here's another word we hear wrong all the time when Americans sing it. I hear pensiɛro, open E at the beginning. It's pensiɛro. So A is on the stress with the semivowel. First is A, yeah, right? Pensiero. Next, il, we've had mio, we've had desire. So the accent is on the E. So the ire, right, is the stress. Ire, desire. So the E is closed going into that, right? And rolled R at the end if you're going to truncate the E. So desir. Now here's our strong monosyllable. Ate. Now, notice I do the double T again, right? I don't do too much, right? I don't do at and stop the ah. And that you hear Americans do this all the time on double T's, right? You're told shorten the vowel before. That's somewhat true. It's not that the vowel is short, it's that the vowel stops phonation. So how you do, like say the word tutto, right? If I speak, I could say tutto, right? I double T like that, right? If I sing, I have to elongate the vowel, right? Stop phonation, go up to the T, don't say it, then say it. So like this, right? First step, say the vowel, tu, stop phonation, tu, go up to the T, don't say it, tu, do, right? So the force of that space is what gives you the emotion, whatever the emotion may be. If it's strong, right? You say, should I bring everything? I say tutto. You say it again. You're like, I'm annoyed with you. I say tutto, right? The space gets longer. Not the T. The T doesn't get, right? So, ate. She's excited, right? Ate. It sounds like she's gonna, I don't know, attack him or something, right? Ate. Right? So te is closed, double T. Ognora. So ognora is short for ognora, every hour, right? Always, right? So the E is taken off for the beauty of the word, and it's actually beautiful, right? Ognora. Because it's closed though. All the O's are closed, even the stressed one. One R, right? Not ognora. Volerà. So the future tense has an accent on the ultimate syllable, the last syllable. The ah is accented. So the O and the E are not accented, so they are closed. Volerà. Okay? Now, if this word had another word after it, starting with a consonant and you didn't take a breath, it would double. So when you come across the future tense, say like sarà, right? Sarà deciso, right? So sarà deciso, and the same with double D. You go up to it, right? You'd like the go. You go up to it. You don't say the D, then you say the D, and there's a space. There's a stop in phonation. Okay, so that's how you double after volerà. Ffin. So double F, closed E. Ffin l'ultimo. Now, l'ultimo. Look at what happened with the L's, right? L'ultimo. So the L's sing, right? So they always unstressed, so it's closed in that word. Sospir. Right? Not sospir. Don't let the R be American, right? So here's the other thing, right? With R's, they have nothing to do with vowels, right? And you could have been doing this for years. You're a very seasoned opera singer. Just watch yourself, right? So if you practice O, E, R, right? Separate your vowel from your R. O, E, R, sospir, and everything will be much cleaner, right? So when you say it fast, sospir, and again, your S is dangerous in the theater. Sospir. Very interesting story because Verdi for Monterone in this opera, the original text, instead of turbare, the original was turbare, and the S's were too disturbing, I think. So Verdi changed it later to turbare, which is way better in the theater. See, too many S's are ugly and especially if you hiss a lot, and they stop phonation. Going on, Caro nome. We've already had that. Tuo, sarà. Sarà. Single R, right? And it flips. Okay, so let's do whole phrases, and we're going to look for the rhyme because Verdi tends to break the rhyme. So let's look for the rhymes, and what I always say is that Italian sentence is like a wave. It's like an arc. It's like a wave that crashes on the beach. And it's only one down. There's a lot of, everything's an upbeat to a downbeat. Okay? So, Gualtiɛr Maldɛ, nome di lui sia amato, ti scolpisci nel core, innamorato. So it rhymes, right? Amato, rato. Did you realize you were rhyming? This is also rhyming, right? And Verdi breaks this rhyme like crazy. Caro nome che il mio cor, festi primo palpitar, le delizie dell'amor, mi dai sempre rammentar. So palpitar, rammentar. Col pensiero il mio desir a te ognora volerà, ffin l'ultimo sospir, caro nome tuo sarà. So now, if you hit those rhymes, you sing long phrases, and all of those rests that you have in this aria, it will keep your line going across those rests. The mind is more active in making a phrase than you think, right? And as much as your breath and your legato. So your mind hitting those rhymes will always give you those long phrases. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe below, and please share. And remember to always visit your coach.